73% of men under 35 are single right now. That's the highest percentage recorded in modern history, and it's rising faster than ever. You're not imagining it. Dating has never been more brutal than it is right now. You're invisible until you're not. And no one tells you how to make that happen. The dating game has changed. But here's the shitty part. No one updated the playbook. You think she's just too busy for you, but man, she's actually disgusted by you. And you think putting in effort equals attention, but it just makes you needy. You've been lied to by pickup artists, dating coaches, and apps because none of that old stuff reflects today's world in 2025. And now your biology is getting punished by her psychology. Dating in 2025 is like shopping in a haunted mall. Everything looks good from far away, then screams when you approach it. But here's the beautiful thing. There is a way through all of this. It's not you pretending to be alpha or texting like a sociopath. No, it's something deeper, more dangerous, and far more powerful than that. When you embody this shift, women will feel it instantly. However, if you don't figure this out, she will never choose you. So I've made this video to walk you through why dating is so fucking broken in 2025. I'm going to show you the invisible you've been punished for daily. I'll make it click for you. Finally, at last, that's the goal. Then I'll hand you the one shift that will change everything. The one thing I've learned from helping over 100 men that makes you unforgettable without saying a damn word, okay? But first, we've got to burn down the myths and build from the truth. Let's make one thing crystal clear here. You're not broken, but the system you're playing in is. And we all know that. I've seen you guys talk on my channel about this kind of stuff before, and I agree with you. You were taught to impress women instead of impacting them. But that just doesn't work anymore. If you're not blind, you'll have seen that for yourself already, right? Modern dating is not a fair fight. It's a stage performance where most men get ignored. If you're an average guy, most of the time you're going to be getting ignored. And while you're busy checking boxes and being polite, she's busy checking out emotionally before dessert. You're not competing against her ex, her crush, or her coworker. You're competing with her phone more than anything in 2025. And you've probably been in this situation before. There you are, trying to show up, be real, be grounded, be present. But she's been trained to scroll past all that. And the worst part, most of you start self-editing the second you feel her attention drift away. You shrink, you hide your leadership. You stop breathing like a man should. And now she's sitting there wondering why she feels nothing. Even though you did everything right on paper. Or at least so you thought, right? When she does look up, she's not seeing what she expects to see. Okay, so here's the shift. The one thing you can do differently, starting right now, today, stop trying to be impressive and start training your nervous system to stay grounded under pressure. I learned this back when I was in combat in the Marines at the age of 20, and I've worked on refining it over time. When she tests you, lean back, get quiet, breathe deeper, slower, and drop back into your body. Because women don't remember what you say, really. They remember how your presence made their body feel. And if your nervous system is chaotic, if it's needy or self-doubting, that's all she'll ever feel from you. She doesn't need you to be perfect. She needs you to be anchored. And she's not looking for a checklist of traits. Even though a lot of them say that online, I know there's a lot of information out there about all the checklists of things that on paper you have to have, but I've seen guys who seem to have it all, but then their energy's off, right? And she's looking for something her body can trust. And if you can't regulate your own emotion, your own energy, she's not going to trust you. Stop chasing her attention and start building a masculine foundation that actually holds some weight. Because without that, you'll keep performing, you'll keep pleasing and praying, and you'll still end up alone at night. The modern world trained you to be palatable, not powerful. And that's why she can't feel you. You've been taught to ask permission instead of giving direction. And it's killing that masculine, feminine polarity, which is necessary to exist if there's going to be attraction. So I'll say it again. Stop trying to impress her and learn to regulate your own presence. That was actually the first step. That's the new baseline, okay? I want you to drill that in. That's what separates noise from signal in 2025. Now, we can move on to tackling the other major issues, because dating in 2025 doesn't feel like romance anymore, of course. It feels like a goddamn job interview. And I'm not just talking about all these fucking dating apps. Even in person, you sit across from her, right, wondering if you're passing this test. But no one asks the important questions. You order the drinks. You ask her about her childhood. You know, you laugh at that. You know, it's not funny, right? You're sitting there, it's awkward, and deep down you're wondering, does she actually want a connection or just a validation of being wanted? Because that's what it feels like now. Like, most people don't want love, they just want leverage. They just want to know that they can get that person, or they have a lot of options, right? They want to know that they have options for their egos. And they want to know that they have that validation without any real intent most of the time. Or, you know, maybe they just want nice experiences paid for and don't actually intend to bring any real value to the table. But you're over here thinking, if I do this for her, if I do that, if we do that. No. Women aren't dating from their desires anymore. They're dating from their wounds. This is most of them. Now, there's definitely some solid women out there, okay? I'm just speaking in the general climate of the masses for today. Most women are projecting their wounds onto you. And you could be showing up right, but she's still got some deep-rooted insecurities and wounds that haven't been healed yet. And a lot of the time, she's not choosing you because of who you are. She's reacting to a man from her past. You remind her of someone who hurt her or abandoned her or made her feel unsafe. And now, instead of looking for a real connection, she's subconsciously reenacting a trauma she never actually healed from. And that's why being a good man doesn't guarantee anything, okay? Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be a good man. You should be. But that alone isn't enough. You have to understand this, because it's multidimensional, okay? You're not just competing with other guys. You're competing with her unprocessed pain, her unhealed wounds. And let's not pretend men are showing up clean either, okay? Most of you are putting on a performance as well. You've learned to say what sounds sexy, show what looks good, and hide what actually matters. You've got the watch, you got the physique, you got the jokes, but none of it feels real, because underneath that, you're terrified of being seen. You're terrified of being rejected, or told that you're not enough one more time. So now we've got two people sitting across from each other, both wearing masks, both starving. And hookup culture trained all of us to expect betrayal before we even got close to intimacy. And then we flake, we connect, and then we ghost, right? We open up, and then we disappear like it never meant anything in the first place. We've turned love into a performance, and we've turned people into placeholders. And nobody wants to admit it, because If we admitted it, we'd have to feel just how numb we've all become. And numbness is easier to fake your way through than the real pain of giving a damn, right? It's easy to just shut off emotionally and being numb and not letting our guard down, not letting someone in. So here's your shift, okay? If you want to escape this trap, stop dating for validation altogether. Start asking yourself, would I still want her if I wasn't trying to prove that I'm worthy? Let me say that again. Ask yourself, would I still want her if I wasn't trying to prove that I'm worthy, right? Because until you drop that need to be chosen, you need to be chosen, you need someone, you need the validation, you'll keep attracting women who don't choose themselves, let alone you. Let me say that again. Until you drop that need to be chosen, you'll keep attracting women who don't even choose themselves, let alone you. And two people without self-respect will never create a relationship. They'll just create more regret. There's only one thing I found that actually breaks this cycle, and we'll get to that soon. But first, just know the solution isn't found in another tactic, another, tech strategy, or some dating coach confidence hack, okay? You may have tried all that already. All of it fails. You are blue-pilled, then you go full red-pill because you're bitter and fed up. On the surface, things look cool. You can hook up with some girls, but then you're trapped again, right? You end up being cold and closed off and unable to truly attract the genuine connection that you want. But the real answer lives below the surface in a place most men never even look. Because she's not responding to your words, your looks, your lifestyle. She's responding to your signal. And if you don't know what that signal is or how to tune into it, she'll never feel you. You want to know what separates the men she forgets from the ones she dreams about? This is the key, so pay attention. It's not the date, the words, or the timing. It's how her body responds to yours. Okay, because like I said earlier, her nervous system doesn't care about your strategy. It cares about whether or not it feels safe. And most of you aren't making her feel anything at all because you're not even present in your own body. You're up in your head overanalyzing everything, performing, and trying to stupidly to think your way through a moment that is meant to be felt. Not checking off a list, right? As she's checking in with her body naturally the whole time, intuitively. Is he present? Is he grounded? Do I feel more like a woman when I'm near him? If her system doesn't answer yes to those questions immediately, it's over before it really begins. Because attraction for women, it's not about logic, it's about energy. And your energy tells the truth. You can lie with your mouth, but with your body, man, it will always rat you the fuck out, man. I'm telling you. Women are also more naturally intuitive to men, and they're extra sensitive to energy, okay? And that's why the loudest guys with the fakest confidence always get found out eventually. I mean, it's going to happen sooner rather than later. They're posturing, and that's why the calm, quiet man who's deeply embodied can light her up without saying a word. She's not turned on by your talking. She's turned on by how you hold that space between words. How you draw attention in a commanding and respectful way. And if you're not comfortable in silence, she won't trust the sound of your voice either. Because she knows if you can't hold yourself, right? compose yourself, you'll never be able to hold her. She feels your energy pull her deeper into herself, not by force, not by game, but by the simple fact that you're rooted, that you're grounded, and she can feel it. It draws her away from the social game, playing the field, looking and thinking about other men or her competition in the form of other women. It's the reason women melt around certain men and put up walls with everybody else. And those walls aren't there to protect her from you. They're there to see if you can lead. And if you react, overthink, get anxious, overtalk, try to validate yourself to her, pedestalize her, you try to prove yourself to her, try to sell yourself, you've already lost that test. So here is your shift. Stop focusing on what to say and start mastering how you show up in your day-to-day for yourself, in your energy, your breath, your tone of your voice, your eye contact, your silence. Because that's what she's actually listening to. The man who doesn't need to fill the space owns that space. Think about that, man. You just sit there, cool, calm, and collected. You're composed. And a lot of the times women are more talkative and chatty and they yap, right? It's not a bad thing, right? But you don't need to feel like you have to match that energy. She's a woman. Even though it might be your natural inclination to kind of match her energy, that's not what she needs, okay? Women can feel that instantly. And if you want her to really soften and drop into her feminine energy, you need to stop asking and start embodying something she can lean into. Because until you can lead the moment with nothing but presence, she will never follow your words, right? It's always through the energy and actions that people can really get a feel for who you are. And if you are someone that is trustworthy, someone that can lead. And most men never make it this far. Because this part isn't sexy. It's not any kind of crazy tactics. It's confronting. It's not about getting girls or faking confidence. It's about becoming unchangeable and having solid foundations in the face of chaos. Because once you start commanding space, the entire game changes around you. And here's one final piece. You want that one trait that makes you unforgettable, starting right now. Decisiveness. Not just choosing the restaurant. I'm talking about being a man who moves through life with clarity. A man who knows what he wants, says it clearly, and acts without hesitation. Because that energy, that's what snaps a woman out of her masculine and into her feminine side instantly. Most men wait, and they wait for the right moment, the right response, the perfect green light and signal. Then, in all that hesitation throughout the process, they've completely lost the girl. They lose their edge. They lose their own self-respect. Because every time you second guess, every time you ask for permission, every time you stall, she's clocking it. And not just her, the whole world. Your friends, your coworkers, your woman, they all feel your hesitation. You don't need to be right. As a matter of fact, a lot of the times it's just making a decision. You just need to make a move. Just like when I was in the military, I was in the Marines, and there's so many circumstances where we had to make a decision. And you try to make the most calculated, best decision, but as quickly as possible. And sometimes you don't know if the decision that you made is right, but you know that you have people that are depending on you, other men who have lives that you're responsible for. And it's go time. And when you make that decision, You make it calmly, and you make it with confidence and certainty, even if you don't know if it's the right decision or not, okay? Here's what no one tells you. Women don't need certainty. They need conviction, okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to give off the vibe that, like, you can be certain. You may not be able to feel certain that this is necessarily the best one, but conviction that, you know what? This is the right move. This is the move that I'm taking. And she has to feel that energy, okay? They need conviction. Everyone needs conviction. And women, they need to feel that you choose something and you're not afraid to be seen choosing it, right? Standing up for something. She can clarify and help build your accuracy with those decisions over time, right? As you continue dating, she shows up. She can make it known whether this relationship is going to be going somewhere, whether there's reciprocity and mutual value being provided on both ends, right? And that's what creates trust. It's through actions over time, right? That's what builds the sexual tension. That's what separates the boys from the men. And it's not about dominating her. It's about demonstrating direction and being at peace with where you're headed. Whether she joins you or not, that's her choice, right? But at least she knows where you're going. Most guys get lost in trying to read the room, feel her out, play it safe, craft the perfect text, right? But the man who just decides, who leads with intention, makes her feel like she can exhale because she's exhausted from deciding everything, tired from dragging dead weight, burned out from leading her own life. And when you step in with direction, not necessarily control, but clarity, it hits her like a drug. That's the man she remembers. And I get chills talking about this because this resonates deeply with me, because I remember being that guy who didn't understand this. It didn't click before. But this that I'm describing, that's the man who cuts through her noise and makes her feel something real over time. So if you want to stand out right now, practice moving with conviction in every little decision that you make in your life. Pick the table, make the call, set the tone, own your voice. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Be a man of your word. Order quickly at the table. Order quickly with your drink. Choose your own path in life, man, because every time you hesitate, she feels less safe. And every time you decide, she softens and trusts you more, and she leans into that. And the more you embody that decisiveness, the less you'll need to perform, chase, or prove jack shit, man. You'll stop being the man she scrolls past and start being the one she doesn't forget. Most men will hear all this and nod, but change absolutely nothing. Don't keep waiting. Don't keep stalling in life. Don't keep wondering why women never really feel for you. And if you made it this far in something and it clicked, don't sit on it, man. Start being more decisive in everything in your life. Practice small with, like I said, with just what you order for dinner, what you order for the drink while you're, where you're walking to. Let's say you're on a date and you're in front leading. Pick the direction quickly, man. Come on. Move with intent and own your words and actions. How you can truly embody and step into this energy is by living it every day, is really what it comes down to, until it becomes who you are. And then, like I said, it bleeds into every area of your life. The second you start living with clarity, with presence and direction, the world responds to you very differently. And that's when it starts to shift, man. It's not just in dating, but in every part of your life. So if you found the video helpful for today, like the video. Let me know in the comments why you think dating is so fucked in 2025. Subscribe, because I'm dropping videos every single week. And I actually created a free training. Link is in the description. If you're struggling with attracting beautiful women, if you're struggling with finding your purpose, if you're hooked on porn and you have things that you have not been able to overcome, check out my free training or book a call. I'll catch you guys in the next one.